Hello! Today's topic of conversation is going to be learning about safety, grounding, and mindfulness in order to start working on our trauma. The reason that we have to put together our safety plan and make sure that we have a safe place to work is we don't want to continuously re-traumatize our bodies. So it's very important before we start talking about the trauma and working through the trauma that we have an opportunity to feel safe during that experience and then after that experience. If we go and we feel unsafe after we work through some of the trauma, our body has still learned that it is unsafe. So it's really important is that we go ahead and we make sure that we set up this safe place, this safety plan, so that way we make sure that we are not re-traumatizing ourselves. And this is one of the reasons that we can't deal with a lot of trauma in the prison system, is because we cannot, after we talk about trauma, in any way, shape, or form, guarantee that somebody is not going to have to go through trauma as soon as they leave the office. In fact, it's pretty much expected that you're going to have hypervigilance and think that people are up to no good and all this other stuff. So this part of the trauma work where the safety comes in place, in order to work through the trauma, it's not available. So that's why it's very, very difficult to do any of your trauma work that results from your anybody having childhood abuse or a traumatic event from childhood or right before you came to prison. So this is important for you to do if you want to start doing your trauma work on your own. The first thing is that we need to have safety. And what that means is that we need to feel that we are reasonably invulnerable for harm to be inflicted on us by either ourselves or another person. If you are safe, we are reasonably able to prevent ourselves from being hurt or abused. We first have our physical safety. We need to make sure that we stay physically safe. We then need to have our mental safety, that we're able to ground ourselves and be able to control our thoughts. The next one is going to be emotional safety, that we're able to identify and start being able to feel our feelings, so that way we can use them to our advantage in dealing with life. We also need to identify safety in our environment, and we need to feel safe within our current living environment. If you are currently not feeling safe in your living environment, it is going to be much more difficult to deal with your trauma. You're pretty much going to be continuously re-traumatizing yourself. So it's really important that you have safety before you start working through your trauma. When we're creating our safe space, we're going to do two different things. The first safe space that we're going to have is going to be our mind safe space. So that way when we're out in public, where we're triggered, or we have something that is overwhelming, we have a way to go about going into our own safe space. That way we can feel better. So in order to complete this exercise, get yourself into a nice, relaxed place. Put your mind at ease. Close your eyes. Think about a place that brings you immense safety, where you don't feel keyed up on edge, that you feel like no harm will come to you. For some people, this is a place in their past. Some people, this is a place like a mountaintop or being on the beach. Some people, it's being in their bed, whatever it is that makes you the most comfortable. Now, when you're doing this visualization, it is important that you go and you take your time to imagine all these different things in the space. What we want to do is engage all of our senses. So while you have your mind open and you have your eyes closed, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to notice the colors around you. You're going to want to notice what you're seeing. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to notice the things that you're hearing. What kind of noises are there? What's going on around you? What sounds can you hear? The next thing that you're going to do is notice the scents. Pay attention. If you're in your room, Imagine that there's some aromatherapy, lavender oil going on if that's what brings you comfort. If you're on the beach, smell the air. Use all your senses to imagine this. Use taste. What does the air taste like? What kind of sensations are you getting in your mouth from being in this nice, calm, collected place? Notice what it feels like on your skin. If you're in your room, if you're in your bed, how does the bed, the sheets or the comforters feel on your skin? If you're in the mountains, what does the sun feel like? What does the breeze feel like? You want to notice as many of these sensations as possible. You want to pay attention to all these sensations. This is your safe place in your mind. This is the place that you can retreat to when life becomes too overwhelming, when you feel overwhelmed with your emotions, when you're feeling overwhelmed by your trauma. This is your place to retreat to. Now, when we're working on our trauma, when we're going through our trauma histories and all this other stuff, we want to have a physical place that we feel safe. This can be a place, if you like, and you won't be disturbed, it can be out in nature. If you don't find a place like that where you can't be disturbed, you make a small little area in your house, in your apartment. It can be in your car if you feel like that's a safe place for you. Wherever it is, that's going to be your safe place that you can work through your trauma, that you can feel your trauma as you're writing it out, that you can be able to contend with your trauma. Now, this place that you're making, you want it to be able to soothe your all five senses again. So once again, in this place, you want calm, relaxing music. You might want to get a white noise machine. You might want to get a little, you might want to get a little waterfall. One of the things that I particularly like is, let me pull it up. It is going to be this little app right here. It's the white noise. And right here, if you can see it, it's got a lot of different sounds. And it's free, which is always great. And this free app, you turn it on, and these are things that kind of can help soothe you. Let me pull down the app. And like I said, it's called White Noise. Free app. It's great. And so you want to put that in your space. You want to put textures that feel nice. One of the things too is to take an object with you, like a smooth rock or seashell, something that you can hold that brings you joy or peace or a sense of comfort, a good memory. And with that right there, you want to be able to pick it up and feel it. This is like a grounding stone, a grounding object. What you also want to bring in are things of future orientation, how you're going to be in the future. You might want to bring in pictures of why you're doing these things, why you're trying to get better, pictures of your children, pictures of your dreams in the future when you get a hold of your PTSD symptoms. What you also want to do is, in terms of safety, you want to build a safety contact list. These are people that you can rely on, that you are able to call on if you become overwhelmed. So these will be people like your friend, your best friend, your neighbor, your spouse or partner, children if you have adult children, your doctor, a crisis hotline, all these different resources that if you're feeling so out of control and your safe places are not working, that you're able to reach out to these people and get them to help you calm down. So this is another part of our safety. And like I said, before you can do any of the work, you have to feel safe. Now that we've gone over building a safe space, building a safe mind space, physical space, and making sure that you have people in place that can help you if you're feeling unsafe and you need somebody to kind of talk you off the ledge. The next thing that we're going to talk about is, so you have all the physical safety. Now what you're up to is you're going to be able to do things, put them in place. So that way, if your mind is starting to go out of control, because remember, we also want mental and emotional safety, not just physical safety. What we're going to learn are some more relaxation exercises and some more grounding techniques. One of the relaxation exercises to do is something called progressive muscle relaxation. With progressive muscle relaxation, there's a whole script for you to follow. And eventually what you do is you go ahead and you practice this script so often and you pair it with a cue word. So that way when you say that cue word, then your body just automatically goes into a relaxed thing. I'm going to post the instructions for that underneath this video. The other thing, once again, I love apps. Technology is awesome. Very, very awesome. So this app right here, once again, is a free one. This one is called Oak. And in this app, there's a bunch of different, let's see if I can get it on there good. Oh, the light's reflecting off of it. Oh, well, okay. So we have meditation and we have breathing exercises. And in this right here, you have different breathing. You have the four thing that I talked about before. You have a guided breathing. You also have, and this is for sleep, so if you have difficulty for sleep. And here are some other mindfulness meditations, so that way you can be able to learn how to calm yourself, make yourself nice and, being able to get back in your body when you start dissociating or coming out of your body. Because this is not, we want to make sure that your brain stays safe, that your emotions and your mind stay safe. Now, there's also, like I said, I love technology. I love apps. There's different, and these are good because in case you forget, they're right there on your phone. And like I said, for the relaxation, for the progressive muscle relaxation, I am going to put that in the comments for you to practice. There's also free things on the internet that you can download for that progressive muscle relaxation, so you don't have to remember it all. All right, now, let's see. This one, now there's grounding exercises in this one. This one is called What's Up? Right there. So what's up right there? That's another free one. They want you to donate because, they're not making any money off of it, but you don't have to. It'd be nice, but you don't have to. So this right here, help right now. This right here is stop right now. Just take a minute to calm down. And it goes over breathing. Breathing. I really am annoyed that I didn't. Okay, so let's see. So then here's grounding. Because remember from the other episode, what we're doing when we're grounding is trying to go ahead and put our mind in a place that we're not paying attention to our stressors in the environment, that we're replacing those negative thoughts with something benign, something not harmful. So these are all different cute little things for you to be able to ground yourself again. And so I really like this one. This one right here, breathing control. This is, once again, another way to do breathing exercises. Because like I said in another episode, what we're doing when we're breathing is we're filling our body with oxygen and getting rid of that carbon dioxide. When we have too much carbon dioxide in our body, what occurs is our brain starts hyperventilating because it says like, oh my God, we're going to die. We need more oxygen. But that hyperventilating actually doesn't do anything, and it really makes it even worse. So really breathing, and believe you and me, I am not a big breathing exercises. But they actually work if you go and you do them. So that's another thing. These two, like I said, these two apps, they're free. So you can go ahead, download them, keep them in your pockets. That way you can reference them when you need them. Now, another thing, in case you just want one off the top of your head, your phone's not around, take an object. Take any object. I'm going to take an orange. All right. You see this orange? What I'm going to do, this is called a mindfulness exercise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this orange, well, can't see it, but I'm going to put this orange. I'm just going to look at it. I'm going to take the time to study each and every little part of it. And this is while it's on the table. So I'm going to observe it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to observe it. Look at every part. And once again, this is grounding. So that way we can stay in the moment and get our mind kick-started out of that very bad trauma that we're re-experiencing. So this right here, I'm looking at it, I'm observing it. Then after I've looked at it for maybe a couple minutes, I'm going to hold it in my hand. I'm going to observe how it feels. I'm going to observe the texture, the temperature. I'm going to smell it. every which way, I'm going to experience this orange. It sounds really dumb, but it works. And so try it. Like I said, it sounds dumb, but it works. It works. Now, another thing, and this comes from DBT, is something called TIP. And what that is you go ahead and you reduce your body temperature into thinking that you're going through a dive. And it's really a strange thing where you put cold water on your face, and for some reason that cold water, it starts something called a dive reflex. That dive reflex, what it does is it simmers down our nervous system. It pulls all this blood from our extremities and it pulls it to our heart. It pulls it to its vital organs. And so that way we cannot focus on all these higher level thinking because our body is thinking that we're diving underneath the water. And anybody that swims, you know you're not really thinking while you're diving. Your body is completely in that moment. Your body is going back up to the top of the surface. It's not thinking, oh my God, there's trauma, there's trauma, there's trauma. It is just thinking, survive, 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 and be able to just completely block everything else out. This is considered a distress tolerance skill. So what we're doing here is this is when we are feeling completely out of control. This should not be used for regular mindfulness. Now, if you have any questions or concerns about anything that I have said in this video, please leave a comment. Right now, I am able to go and respond to all the comments that are left. And once again, these videos are not meant to take the place of therapy. I cannot stress this enough. Go get professional help if you need it. These videos are meant to be able to kind of help people that may not be able to afford therapy, that might not be able to access therapy. So it is not to take the place of regular therapy. If you like this, once again, please like and subscribe. That way I know how much interest is in each of these particular videos. If I'm finding that some of the videos are not getting too many likes, then I know that those might not be an issue for most of the audience. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to do them, just means that I kind of know where to focus a little bit more. And like I said, please like and subscribe.